This episode is about the underground cities of Cappadocia. Thousands of years ago, people used these caves to hide their families from invading armies. We have discovered many underground cities in Cappadocia, and Derinkuyu is the deepest underground city we can visit. So today, we will be discovering the narrow tunnels and deep caves of this ancient place. Even though we named them the underground cities, these caves were mostly used to store food supplies during peaceful times. You can use this episode as an audio guide and listen to it as you visit the site. We will be talking about all the levels of the underground city and its history. A warning for those who wish to visit. Some of the tunnels are quite small and you'll need to crouch through the tunnels in order to pass. It's not crawling, so it really isn't that bad. But if you have claustrophobia or respiratory issues, I recommend you check our episode Which Underground City in Cappadocia to find out the best underground city for you. The first level at the entrance seems like a maze with many tunnels. This was the kitchen area. They built fires and cooked in small ground ovens. Although there was a ventilation system, the porous tuff rock absorbed the smoke and became pitch black. That's how you can tell if a cave was used as a kitchen in Cappadocia. We follow the tunnel at the end of the gallery. Red arrows mark the tunnels we used to visit the underground city. If you wish to exit, start looking for the blue arrows. They show the way out. These tunnels lead to multiple cave rooms with many holes in the ground. Some of them small, some quite deep, but all of these holes were used for one purpose. That was to store food supplies or goods that they used to produce here. The volcanic tuff rock of Cappadocia helps with the insulation of these caves. And if you dig deep enough, the temperature inside the cave will be constant, meaning during the whole of summer, it will stay at around 70 Fahrenheit or 20 degrees Celsius inside the caves, even when it's about 100 Fahrenheit or 40 degrees outside. In Cappadocia, it snows during the winter months. It's between 20 and 30 Fahrenheit or 0 to -5 degrees outside the caves. While inside the caves it's about 60 Fahrenheit or 15 degrees Celsius. This constant temperature means food will survive for a longer period of time, and that's why these caves were the permanent storage areas of the city above. We follow the tunnel that comes after the storage areas, but as you go through, make sure you look back to see the stone door. Most people just keep going and miss this giant rock that looks like it's from a movie. Pushing this wheel door to close it was easy enough, but for an enemy coming through the tunnel from the other side to open the door is very difficult. There are no handles and space for only one person who could try to open the door. Defending soldiers could just use the hole in the center of this door to attack with spears or bows and arrows. The attackers on the opposite side would not be able to defend themselves as they were in a crouching position. To make things worse for the enemies, in order to fit through these small tunnels, they would have to leave their bigger weapons and heavier armor outside. So they had simple daggers, maybe short swords, and probably no shields. This was obviously why the original builders of the underground city made the tunnels so small. At the bottom of this tunnel, we reach an area with an opening into the ventilation shaft. These deep ventilation shafts were crucial to the survival of the residents. The tunnels were blocked, so a permanent ventilation shaft was necessary. And it still works today. As you get closer, you will be able to feel the fresh air rushing in. The small holes along the shaft were used to climb up or down the shaft. In this small area, you'll find two new tunnel entrances. If you follow the red arrow, you can visit the deepest caves of this underground city. If not, follow the tunnel with the blue arrow for the exit. As we walk down the tunnel for the deepest caves of Cappadocia, you'll find some small rooms on the side with stone doors. These were contingencies. In case the other doors were breached, the inhabitants could retreat and make their stand. Today, these small spaces just to the side of the tunnel come in pretty handy. You'll soon realize if there's another group trying to come out, you just can't fit two people in these narrow tunnels. So you could just step aside and let the people coming out vacate the tunnel. These small rooms may also have been used as living rooms. Of course, these were more like a dormitory, so the families did not have a private room to themselves. They tried to fit in as many people as they could. If you're enjoying the journey and finding this guide helpful, please consider leaving a quick rating or tapping that like button. It takes just a second, but it's the best way you can help us reach the next traveler. After this short ad break and past the stone barricades, we reach a large cave. The reward for that tight squeeze through the tunnels is the deepest level of all underground cities in Cappadocia. A new tunnel on the left can take you to the graves, a place where they temporarily kept the bodies of the deceased while hiding in the underground city. On the right is a very large tunnel, and as we keep going in that direction, we realize these tunnels right here form a cross shape. This used to be the church of the underground city. As I mentioned, these caves were not their permanent homes. As they lived here only during invasions, the church is like a place of worship inside a bunker. It has no paintings at all. The area just outside the church is believed to be a gathering area, maybe a meeting hall of some kind. If you think about it, it makes sense to have a gathering space just outside the church. It can also be used as an extension of the church in case there were too many people. Venturing deeper into the meeting hall, we come across another detail. A waist-high alcove carved directly out of the stone wall, completely sealed off by a heavy metal grate. This was one of the water wells of this underground city. As they lived here for many weeks, maybe even months, they needed direct access to water. And because there was fresh water down below, it meant they couldn't just dig a hole and use that as a toilet. When nature called, the residents used potteries and sealed them with ash so they wouldn't stink. After the battles were over, someone had to carry these potteries outside. On the left is a small tunnel that goes further down. If you wish to say you were at the deepest spot of the underground city, you can take this tunnel. If you remember that ventilation shaft from earlier, the one that you could hardly see the bottom of, congratulations, now you're almost at the bottom of it. On the walls and inside the tunnels you may notice palm-sized cutouts. They were actually carved out to hold small lamps. These lamps burned linseed oil, and they were the primary source of light. After we explore all these caves, we make our way back to the area where we first saw the ventilation shaft. As we do so, let's talk a bit about the history and how these people used the underground cities. The first people who lived in the underground cities were the Hittites, probably more than 3,000 years ago. It didn't only belong to the Hittites though. All the civilizations that lived in Cappadocia used the underground cities as a place of refuge and also stored their food in these caves. Just to mention a few of these civilizations, Hittites, Persians, Greeks, Romans, and Turks all reigned here at one time in history. Somehow during human history, we forgot about the existence of the underground cities. Derinkuyu Underground City was discovered in 1963 and opened to the public in 1969. If you have visited the center of Cappadocia, you probably know that people lived in caves near the surface. Those are cave houses where a single family lived. The caves we are in right now inside the underground city belonged to the community. That is one of the main differences between a cave house and an underground city. Also, the underground cities were not permanent living areas. So these people used the caves to keep the civilian population safe during wars. Women, children, elderly or disabled men who could not fight took refuge in the underground city. They would hide here for months. Up to 20,000 people took refuge here. After we come back up, we'll follow the blue arrow to see more of the storage areas. Some of these areas were wineries. Let me tell you why there are so many wineries here. If you remember, the caves maintain a constant temperature. Throughout the year, it stays between 60 to 70 Fahrenheit, or 15 to 20 degrees Celsius. This means the caves are naturally ideal places to store wine. These ancient people must have discovered this, so they brought the grapes they cultivated in this region into these caves and stored the grape juice here so it could ferment into wine. When a merchant needed more jugs of wine to sell, only then they would bring it out of the caves because this temperature is ideal to store wine. The last cave before we leave is where they kept the animals. We can see all the holes that were used to keep the food for the animals. also some smaller holes where a rope could be tied so the animals wouldn't stray. It was a cave where they kept small and medium-sized farm animals that could contribute to the food supplies of the community. Before we leave, if we walk a bit further in and follow the tunnel on the left, we can visit the small monastery of the Derinkuyu Underground City. It seems a group of Christian monks lived here, maybe hiding from persecution. Thank you for visiting the underground city with us today. If you enjoyed your visit here, you might want to check our other episodes of Cappadocia as we navigate this unique region, discovering cave churches and communities. If there's a destination you'd like to hear about, or if you need help planning your own adventure in Turkey, reach out to us at info@realturkeytours.com. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a journey. Until next time.